Good evening, everybody. It's nice to have you on this session. We're really excited to have you here. We are glad some of you that joined last month are here to have another session that is a part two. It's always important to have a complete idea about something. In a science world, there is something called dangerous knowledge. And it is called dangerous knowledge because it is half knowledge that you have, and you don't have the other half of it. And so sometimes you might think you know something, but in the end, you know only 50% of it, or even less. And so it's good that you are here to get a well-rounded scope or perspective of what we think should be the framework for negotiation, the art of always winning. And so do feel free, put your pen and paper by you, share the Zoom link to your friends, your family members, invite them onto this particular session. Let's learn together. And I expect you to ask a lot of questions at the end of the day as well. So really, really excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Let's do a quick recap of what we learned last month. Last month, we talked about so many things, okay? So many things. We talked about negotiation from the perspective of a seller, okay? But today, we're going to talk about negotiation from the perspective of the buyer. So now, this time around, I am the buyer, you are the buyer. You are talking to your supplier or you are talking to your vendor. How do you frame the negotiation in such a way that you win and your seller also goes home feeling excited that he actually did business with you? Okay, so that's basically it. But before we delve deep into the matter proper, let's see by hands. Okay, you can show your hands. You can just give an emoji, okay, by hands. If you have never negotiated before since you started your business. I'm looking out for hands. Two people have raised their hands. Okay. That's Emmanuel and Sally. Okay, good. So we have two people that have never negotiated before. Let's start with Emmanuel. By the way, this is going to be an interactive session. So it's not going to be the preacher and the audience. It's going to be very interactive. So feel free and let's talk together, okay? Emmanuel, what is the nature of your business? If you can share that with us, please.
Actually, I'm into sales of cement and wood, as in building and construction.
Building and constructions. I see. Yeah. Great. And in your business, you've never negotiated with your suppliers before?
I've never negotiated with them before. I often go get what I want with what I have, as in my capital is like I use my capital to get the amount or the required amount I need. I often do not negotiate. If I go and as in they give me the price of the items over there, I just bargain on the prices, then pay what I can afford, then come back home. That's what I often do.
Okay, so you bargain on the prices, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. When you're bargaining, do you bargain for a reduction of the prices?
Yeah, I do bargain for reductions.
Okay, so what else do you bargain for before you purchase the things that you're going to buy? The cement.
Okay, for the cement, it's either you have people to offload it or you bargain with them to give you to offload it for you. So sometimes I do bargain with them to get me people to offload it for me.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for sharing. We really appreciate that. Okay. So this is a very perfect example of what happens in business. Okay. And it's no different from negotiation. Okay. We use these words interchangeably. We use bargain, we use haggle, we use negotiation, but actually they all go to talk about the same thing. Okay, so in your business, we can confidently say that you have negotiated before. Okay, but I know very well that in the cement business, sometimes it's a standard price across board. And so, yeah, it becomes a challenge beating the price down. But in your case, you've mentioned that you've gotten the opportunity to negotiate or to bargain for a price reduction. So we can say you have negotiated before in your business. Okay. And even talking to the people to help you to offload the materials in terms of the transportation along the value chain itself. Okay. It is also negotiation. Okay. And sometimes you have to negotiate about how fast they can deliver or transport your product from your vendor to your warehouse, how much they will take, right? And sometimes even they kind of talk to you about the fuel that you have to buy. And you can even tell them that, look, from this distance to that distance, you don't need to buy that much fuel because the distance is probably not too far. Or, great. So all of that kind of process, okay, it is called negotiation. So when you sit down in life, you actually begin to realize that everything about life is negotiation. The time that you give to somebody is negotiation. Even working for someone, okay, when an employer employs an employee, the time that that employee spends, okay, in the day is equal to how much the person will be paid, okay? And so we calculate that over a month and give it a salary. And so people negotiate for their time and take back salary as the income for that. So everything in life, even in the Bible, Abraham negotiated with God on the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. If a mother and a child, okay, are in a conversation about ice cream and homework, where the mother says, I'll get you this ice cream if you do your assignments or your homework without me having to chase you around, and a child agrees to that. That in itself is also negotiation. So Emmanuel, welcome to the league. You've negotiated before. Okay.
All right.
Great.
All right.
Great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So now let's quickly go down to business. Now, we talked about different things last month, sorry. We explained what a negotiation is, and it's a discussion aimed at reaching an agreement, and that it's a language, okay, of conversation and rapport. And that when you're entering into a negotiation, don't put your face gloves on. It's a conversation that you're going to have with people. And so you should be relaxed. You should be able to talk to people and figure out how the two of you can go home happily after getting what the two of you want, okay? We also talk about negotiation being a science and an art. And then we also said that negotiation is a science because it follows a scientific process, a process of discovery, okay? And so you need to commit to that scientific process to be able to arrive at a very pleasant result. And that negotiation too is also an art in a sense that it's about social skills. It's about you being able to have the mental faculty to deal with it. And so your social skills count. Okay, how you deal with people count. And so negotiation marries science and art together. Okay, now we also talked about how to make every negotiation the same. We describe negotiation as a transfer of emotions of certainty. And that the minute as you, the seller, you're talking to a potential customer, everything that comes out of your mouth your voice, your tonality, your gestures, how you even your posture must convey an emotion of certainty, because the customer that is coming to buy from you is not confident about the quality of your product. And so you have to negotiate. And in doing so, you have to convey that emotion that, look, this is the best piece of product out there that you can get. If you don't buy this, I think you have shortchanged yourself. This product does A, B, C, D, and D. And that even, these are some of the customers that have bought from me. And so you are building that kind of certainty for that consumer or that customer. You're transferring that to that customer to believe that, okay, now I am certain that this product will do exactly what I want it to do for me. And then we also talked about the waterline of negotiation, where we described a situation whereby you are likely to get 3, 4, or 5 no's to arrive at a yes. And that sometimes a no doesn't mean a no. It means I am not certain. And so you need to work your way up the scales to be able to move someone from saying no to actually saying yes. And then we also talked about line of attention, whereby when you're negotiating with someone, do not digress. Focus on the negotiation. Don't start talking about footballs. Don't start talking about, maybe some girl that you saw somewhere that you really, really like and the dress that the person, no. Focus on the line of attention when you're negotiating. And mirroring. We are still going to talk about mirroring today, so I won't really talk much about that. And then we talked about avoiding the cardinal crimes when you're negotiating. That is the kind of questions not to ask. And so if you are here and you missed last month's own, please go ahead. The video is out there. Winnie and Isaac and Paul will share the videos with you in the chat. Make time to watch it. And also do want to subscribe to our YouTube channel when you do that. Thank you. Now, let's talk a little bit about numbers. What the numbers say about negotiation. Let's start with the employer and the employee relationship. Research has found that 70% of managers expect a salary and benefits negotiation when they make you a job offer. And so when a manager tells you that I'm going to pay you 2,000 cedis, they're expecting you to negotiate. Okay, 70% of them. That means that 7 out of 10 managers expect a potential employee to say 2,000 Ghana cedi. Can we think about making it 3,000 cedis? Because of A, B, C, D, the skills that I'm bringing on board, what I can do, and the experiences that I have, maybe the connections or the networks that I can bring on board to make sure that the company gets to its destination or the goal or the targets that it has set for itself in the next quarter. So a lot of the time, 7 out of 10 managers expect new employees to negotiate for their salaries, okay? And 3 of these people actually sometimes, have an anchor. We'll also talk about an anchor. It's like, even if you want more than 2,000 cedis, they will still stick to 2,000 cedis. They will still pay that 2,000 cedis. So that's 3 out of 10. But 7 out of 10, which is a huge number, want you to negotiate. Okay? So it is always important to keep that in mind. As a business owner, at a certain point in time, you will be hiring people. Okay? And so have that in mind when you're setting wages or when you're setting salaries. Okay? Expect people to ask you. Okay? Now, the funny part is that 46% of employees actually take the risk to negotiate for higher salaries. So as a manager, you would expect that 4 to 5 employees or potential employees are likely to negotiate with you over a salary increase. Okay, so just to have that thrown out there. Now, let's go down to business proper with regards to commerce, trade, and services. Now, 89% of those who negotiated, okay, were rewarded at least once. There was a research that was done in the US, in 2014 with 2,000 buyers, okay? And they found out that 1,780 buyers that's negotiated, which is 89% of them actually had a price reduction, or they were rewarded. They got a reduction in the price of the products that they were buying, which significantly means that over 200 buyers did not. Clearly, you'll be able to see that people who don't know how to negotiate or haggle or bargain are leaving money on the table. And so the question is this: as a business owner, are you negotiating for your business? The things that you buy from your suppliers, are you actually negotiating with them? Because if you are not, it means that you are leaving money on the table for your supplier that could have been available for you to use in your own business. It could have been liquid to actually help you to optimize your business or to buy more stocks even, okay? And so it is always important. Now, show by hands if you've had that experience whereby you go and buy something, okay? You ask of the price of the thing. In your head, you had a certain price, which is higher. But so let's say, for instance, you are going to buy something at 10 cedis, and you had that 10 cedis on you. When you got there, you are saying the thing goes for 9 cedis. There was opportunity for you also to negotiate, right? But because in your head, you're expecting to pay 10 cedis and they said the price was 9 cedis, you quickly paid that 9 cedis and left. And on your way back home, you feel that, no, you could have negotiated a price down, even probably to 6 cedis or 7 cedis, if you had done that. And deep down, though you got the product for a cheap price, you are not that excited because you lost out on that particular opportunity to negotiate a downward price. Have you ever had that gut feeling, that experience before? Please show by hands, just give me an emoji or something if you've ever had that experience before. Isaac has had that experience before. Where else? Jason, nice. Cool. So that experience happens, and sometimes it chips away that excitement that you should actually have from buying the products at that reduced price. Okay, and so a lot of people don't negotiate when they realize that the price is actually way below what they planned for. But that is even a better opportunity for you to negotiate. It means the person that you're buying it from, okay, is open to taking a lesser price than what they have told you or they've anchored. Okay, so never ever buy something that you actually have the opportunity to negotiate for. So from the table that you can see, we have people that actually negotiated, okay, from the sample size of 2,000. When it comes to appliances, that is like, TVs and all of that, 39% negotiated, okay? And out of that 39%, there was a 94% success rate of reducing the price. And you can look at the money saved. Averagely, they saved $200. $200. Okay, so you realize that when a buyer quotes a price for you, there is always the opportunity to save money for your business. And so always and always negotiate for that. Are we all on the same page here now? Okay. Now, let's now dig deeper into negotiating as a customer, okay? As a customer, look, if you're negotiating, I know we do have that saying that the customer is always right and the customer is king. But you are also not the only customer in town. You are also not the only customer around. okay? You just happen to be the only customer at that particular moment to that particular vendor. And so don't, be too proud, okay? Listen and understand the point of view of the vendor when you are trying to have a negotiation session with your vendor, okay? The best negotiation stance is not a single-minded emphasis on customer satisfaction, but a concentration on solving problems that seeks to satisfy both parties. And so find a way to talk to the seller that you are buying from as a business owner. Try to listen to what they are saying, okay? Don't be in a hurry to just insist on what you are paying for, okay? But try to gain an understanding about what is important to that seller, what their limitations are, and where they have flexibility, okay? So you refrain from talking too much. You listen to that particular vendor, listen to them, get to find how that product is valuable to them, okay? Listen to them and keep the negotiation courteous and professional. You are not fighting with the person, okay? You are in business to make money. You are in business to pick a product from A and give it to B. And so you are in the middle, and it is important to have a healthy relationship across board. And so you need to be very courteous and professional when you are dealing with your suppliers or vendors, okay? You have no idea how fast a supplier can grow into the future if they can become a monopoly. And if you have that bad blood between your supplier and one day they become a very big player in the market space, you'll be in trouble, okay? So don't be an asshole, in quotes. Establish a good long-term relationship, okay? And it should be one of the goals when you are negotiating. It should be one of the goals when you're negotiating. The reason why establishing a good relationship is important is that it builds goodwill, okay? You're in business, anything can happen. You may run out of stock, you may not have the money to buy those stocks, but because of that goodwill that you may have with your vendor or your suppliers, you can actually buy products or stocks on credit from your supplier and pay later on, okay? So have a positive tone when you're negotiating, and it's more likely to result in progress to a closing. And so it is always important to listen and understand. When you do that, the seller feels that you are much interested in their business. And so they tell you things that they wouldn't have told someone else that was in a hurry. They open up to you, and that alone goes to strike friendship. Friendship leads to discount, and discount leads to money saved. Money saved leads to more money to be able to buy more products, which means that growth in your business. And so make friends and not enemies. Why make friends when you can have enemies? Why make enemies? Sorry, why make enemies when you can have friends? Okay, so make friends and not enemies. That was a favorite quote from King Arthur. Yes, I can see Emmanuel laughing. Nice one. Great. So the second bit too is this: avoid the continual conceding trap. Okay, as a buyer, okay, you should avoid these things. When I talk about continually conceding trap is this: sometimes when you go and talk, or when you visit a vendor that you want to buy something from, they quote a particular price for you, okay? That is called anchoring. So if the product is like, maybe, you've done your own research, and the product is supposed to be around 400 cedis, and then you go, the seller anchors the price at 500 cedis for you, okay? When that happens, you are forced to think that maybe the supplier would come down to 450 last, okay? That is the conceding trap in our head, psychologically. When someone tells you a product goes for 500 cedis, you may think that maybe the person is not open to allowing you to buy that product at 400 cedis, okay? Or you can even take a bigger number. let's say 10,000 cedis, and the supplier tells you that the product is 10,000 cedis. In your head, you've planned to buy the product at 7,000 cedis, right? When that happens, you may think that you can't get that product at the price that you came to buy for. But usually, you can even end up getting that product at that same price. When the seller anchors the product at 10,000 cedis, they have a zone of possible agreements. And so you have to engage the seller and talk to them so that they understand that the products that they are selling to you at 10,000 cedis, out there, that is not the price because you've done your own research. Okay. And sometimes I even encourage business owners to even print, okay, pictures and prices from other places and show to the supplier that, look, I've done research. This is the price of the product out there, but I like you, okay? And I want to do business with you, okay? I want us to be partners in this case, okay? So when you are doing that, you are actually not conceding, but you are letting that particular supplier or that seller realize that what they have to concede for you, because you are actually armed with information. You know your stuff. You know what the price is out there, but you are there because you want to build a goodwill with them. Okay, so arm yourself with as much information as possible. Okay, and then when you do that, you divert the attention of the supplier or the seller from just price and talk to them about the value that you will bring into their business. So you redefine your relationship with your supplier by bringing value to them. For instance, you are going to be the gateway to new markets for them. Maybe your supplier is at Cantamanto and they have a shop over there. And you, the buyer, or you, the business owner, you are from Tema. You can tell the supplier that, look, I have a lot of people in Tema and they are very much interested in your product. Okay, so let's get this product out there for them. And you, through me, you have a gateway to a new market in Tema. All right. So by doing so, you're actually changing the conversation from price to value that you are bringing to that particular supplier. Okay. And the next bit is be ready to play poker and walk away. I know this is easier said than done, but sometimes you do it to get to an end game. Okay. Know before you start what your target price or walk away price is. Be very much prepared with market data to back up why your price is reasonable. All right. And so sometimes, you know, when you're talking and your supplier doesn't want to budge, most often than not, when you walk away, they tend to call you back and they try to re-haggle again, or they try to renegotiate with you. That is called a poker face. I've used it so many times and it has worked for me. And I know some of you out there too have used that as well. Okay, great. And then don't ignore alternatives. Look, if you are looking to buy a product or maybe lease office space or do some other things, you will often be better off if you have alternatives. So the BATN means best alternatives to a negotiated agreement. Okay, have alternatives so that in case this supplier that you're talking to, after going through all that process, still does not budge, you have other alternatives to jump to. Okay, because the goal here is you're negotiating to cut costs or to save. And so don't just go to one particular person, have alternatives. Try this person, try that person, try that person. Time is your friend. Go and come back and have alternatives to pick the best out of them. Okay, and make sure that you let that supplier know that there are some other people that are selling it at a very reduced price, but you trust them, you like their way of doing business, and you want to have a relationship with them. Okay, so that is one of the things to do to be able to negotiate. Okay, if it's on a call and you're negotiating and there's no way that your supplier is badging, just ask for timeout, maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes, reorganize your thoughts, find out from other people how much they'll be willing to go, and then pick the best order out of it. Okay, it's always important to do that. Now, identify the real decision maker. Look, sometimes when you're negotiating, you're probably, negotiating with a salesperson or someone that is bent on making a commission out of that deal with you. Okay, so you need to figure out if you're actually talking to the decision maker. Okay, in Saudi Arabia, the last person to enter the negotiation room is likely and often than not, likely to be the decision maker. Okay, and they are the quietest in the room. That is how certain cultures respect authority. So the last person that enters the negotiation room after a line of people is actually the boss. And so if you're sitting on a table and you're negotiating in that cultural setting, you pay attention to the person that actually entered last. They are usually the quietest in the room. They don't talk. They let their small guys talk to you. And so we at OZÉ believe that your business is supposed to grow that big, to get into this big market, to have these kinds of conversation. And so it is important you know about this. Now, in Ghana, business owners usually are not in the shop. Okay, and so if you are talking to them, if you are talking to the shopkeeper or something like that, find out if their business owner is around and ask for a phone number to deal with them. But of course, don't say that you want to deal with their business owner. Ask for a number and say that you want to be able to call them because you have to step out and decide with your boss also somewhere. Okay, and so you might not come back, but you need a number and you want the number of the boss, to talk to. They are likely to give it to you. Okay, shopkeepers usually say, I don't have the authority to do this, or I don't have the authority to reduce the price this way, or that. And they say a lot of no's. Okay, because their hesitation is usually due to commissions that is due them should a deal go through. All right, and so your job is to figure out who the decision maker is in this context. Okay, so always be on the lookout for that. I've gone to buy shoes and things, and sometimes when I'm trying to negotiate for a price reduction, all right, the person that I'm talking to, most often than not, happens to be the shopkeeper. And the business owner is somewhere else, or maybe seated somewhere. But when I find out that the business owner is around and I happen to talk to the business owner, I almost always get a reduction in price. Almost always. So as a buyer buying products or stocks for your business, look for the decision maker. You are likely to get a price cut on your products. Okay, and never ever accept the first offer. Okay, always make a counter offer that will likely be rejected. Now that brings us to what I talked about, buyer remorse, where you had the opportunity to actually negotiate a price reduction, but you didn't, and you bought the product at a price that was offered you the first time because in your head you had more money available. Okay, and your expectation of the price was lower than what was mentioned, but that is an opportunity for you to negotiate down. And so never ever accept the first offer as a business owner. It is money that you can save, and if you don't save that money, what kicks in is called a buyer remorse. You'll kick yourself in the foot and hate that particular encounter, and it will take the joy out of even buying the product at a reduced price. Okay, so always and always avoid buyer remorse. Okay, so now that we've talked about all of these things, any questions so far? Okay, we have more to come though, so please pack your questions for us. Now we are going to the next bit that lets you know that you have something powerful. And that powerful thing that you have is called your voice. When negotiating, your voice determines a lot. It goes to count a lot, okay? Because you can't be negotiating and be screaming at the top of your voice, or be talking to someone as if you're fighting with the person, okay? We have certain kinds of voices that you can use. I use them a lot when you're negotiating, and I call this the late night FM DJ voice, the positive playful voice, and the direct assertive voice. I know there are people that are smiling right now to their phone thinking, hey, what is this late night FM DJ voice? If you've listened to radios in the night from 10 p.m. going to 12 p.m., there's usually someone in the background that has an inflex downwards and calm, slow voice. And they make you relax, right? They make you feel so comfortable. They don't interrupt the music that is playing in the background a lot. They don't do that, do they? Yeah. They remember it says, the late night FM DJ voice. So that kind of voice actually takes away any antagonism or any confrontation. It makes you relax. And as a business owner, you need to practice these kinds of voices because they actually help you a lot. You go like, hello, how are you? You know, that kind of voice, you practice it. Business and negotiation is an art, as I said. And this is one of the arts. And so you can use the late night FM DJ voice to make a point to your supplier or to your vendor. The whole idea is to avoid confrontation with your supplier or your vendor, okay? Or you can use the positive playful voice. That should be your default voice. It's easygoing and good nature, relaxing and smiling. You are in your mood. You are, playful. You are talking. And what actually also helps is that you identify the accent of the buyer, of the seller or the vendor that you are dealing with. Sometimes when you speak in their language, it goes far to help. What I use is that if I'm going to buy wachi or I'm going to buy beans, and the vendor happens to speak away, I'll speak away. If the vendor happens to speak Gan, I'll speak my broken Gan. If the vendor happens to speak tree, I'll speak the tree. And so I connect on that level, and I use that kind of voice, the positive playful voice, to create a bond, because the whole idea is to converse, to create a rapport. And that rapport, I promise you, leads to price reduction. Okay, even if that vendor was angry with a previous customer before you came in, they actually relax and talk to you. Now, the direct assertive voice is what I will ask you to use rarely because you are likely to get pushbacks. That is, in case you need to actually say something that you know very well might put you in trouble, that is a direct assertive voice. And that one, I tell people to avoid it and use it rarely. That is, if you've negotiated, there is an agreement and goods and money are changing hands, and then all of a sudden there are some little price changes that comes in. That's when you use the direct assertive voice. But that is the voice that you should use when all other things fail. So remember the late night FM DJ voice that you can get from just listening to, some radio stations in the middle of the night. You'll get a kink out of that too. And then the positive playful voice, you try that. That's your default voice, playful, easygoing, and good nature. Always remember to get your way without confrontation. Okay, if you need some clarity, if you need to understand something, don't go like, but you said this, you said that. Ask questions in a nice way. I am sorry, please help me to understand. Okay, and you can also use mirroring. Mirroring means that you're actually mimicking the gestures of the person. If the person leans backwards, you also try to lean backwards to relax. If the person, does something with their fingers, you also do something with your fingers, but it shouldn't be that obvious. It should be subtle enough. And usually when you mimic people like that, they begin to vibe with you and they feel that you are on their level, and they begin to like you as well. And so mirroring helps a lot to create that kind of bonding, that kind of pleasant atmosphere around your suppliers, and they begin to see you as a potential long-term customer. And so their hesitation for a price reduction actually goes down. Okay, it's important to keep that in mind. All right. Now, let's deal with some cardinal crimes that you should avoid when you are negotiating. Avoid these cardinal crimes as a negotiator. Always avoid them. Avoid yes or no questions. Okay? Questions like, is this the best pricing or offer you can give me? To me, even this kind of question is very insulting. If I am a supplier to you or if I am a vendor to you, it's very insulting. I can say yes or I can say no, depending on my mood. Okay? Or is this product genuine? Avoid it, because this kind of questions keeps the two of you on opposite sides of the negotiating table. Okay? And customers who participate in the search for solutions are much more likely to wind up with a deal that they like. Okay? And so you need to ask questions in a very nice way. Giving an explanation before asking a question can be an effective means of prompting a useful reply. For example, you might say, we have found that some products in the market are not quality and does not last, while others are. Can you tell me what makes it easier to differentiate between genuine and fake products? So that comes to replace the question, is this product genuine? You see the whole thing. So you've given an explanation before you're going to actually ask a question. And so you, when you provide an explanation before making an inquiry, okay, your questions seem less intrusive and confrontational. And so based on that, it is highly likely for you to get a very useful reply. Okay, that gives you a sense of what the product is about and how good or genuine the product is. So always give an explanation before asking a question so that you don't get a confrontational response. And one of the things too that I would ask you to do is that when you are negotiating for a price reduction, be discreet. Be very, very discreet, because probably you may not be the only customer around, trying to get a price reduction. There might be other customers, but when you are discreet, okay, the seller is likely to reduce the price for you. And sellers don't want to make your price reduction a great deal for the public to know, because they are doing you a favor to reduce the price, okay? And they don't want to do everybody that is the favor. So if you can get that opportunity to move the seller or the vendor away and do things discreetly, that also helps and increases the chances of you getting a very good deal. Okay. The next bit is the frame of mind. Your frame of mind must be perfect. You don't have to be in a hurry. When sellers smell that you are in a hurry, you are dead in the water. When they perceive that you are in a hurry, they will mention prices that they know very well that because you are in a hurry, you are likely to pay for them just to go away. Time becomes more important to you than the money that you will have to pay. And so they will play on your time. They will play on that for you, okay? And don't be in a bad attitude when you're negotiating with your suppliers or your vendors. The goal is to have a rapport, okay? It should get to that point whereby you will be able to call your supplier or your vendor just by a call, and they will get the products, package them for you and ship it off to you, okay? If you show that you are always in a bad state, a supplier is likely to shun your calls. And so please and please always be in a good attitude. Don't be in a bad state of mind. Okay. And then increase price in sequence. Concede slowly. Concede slowly. Okay. Don't jump from, okay, I'll pay you 300 and say, okay, I'll pay you 400 cedis, or maybe I'll give you 450. No, concede slowly. 300, 350, 380, then maybe 400. Okay, so in that order. So from 50 to 30, then to 20. So you kind of like try to concede slowly in a decreasing manner. And definitely the seller would also see that you're actually making inputs. You are ready to kind of like chip away some money so that they can also meet you halfway. That is the way to negotiate. Okay, so definitely you know that a price is 400 cedis in the market. But go and say, okay, you pay 300. Then he negotiates, you know, upwards all the way to that particular price. Okay, that's how to do it. And the last bit is always remember, while there are many factors at play in negotiation, two of them have the greatest impact: preparation and communication. Balancing the two will set you up for success. You need to prepare. You need to know the price out there for the product that you're going to negotiate for. You arm yourself with information, okay? You get yourself prepared for that. So you remember I mentioned something about printing the picture of the product and maybe the pricing, and that is part of the preparation. You're getting yourself ready to go out there and negotiate. Your business should not hemorrhage money because you are failing to negotiate. It should not. Your business needs to grow. It is a baby, and so you need to put in the work, you need to put in the effort, and you need to commit to actually working to make sure that less money is going out and more money is coming in. Okay, balancing the two will set you up for success, and communication is key. That's about it. Thank you, everybody. Time for questions. We have about 5 minutes to 7 o'clock.
Yes, thank you, Prince. So if you have any question, you can type in the chat space, or you can raise your hand and then we'll open the floor for you. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have Isaac Boama. Please go ahead and ask, Isaac.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for the insight that you are giving to us. I'm the type who doesn't want all. I don't like negotiating. I'm not good at it. So once I go in or I come to your shop, or I have my price in mind, this is how far I can offer. So once I reach that point, you accept that, I go away. But well, from what you are saying, that may not be the best for me. So do I have to unlearn and learn these parts? Because I think that sometimes back and forth in quotes is a waste of time. So what is your advice to me?
Thanks, Isaac, for asking that question. And I agree. A lot of businesses like you feel that way. Okay, a lot of businesses like you feel that way, and it's all right. Okay. However, as a business owner, it is also important to think about the cost that you could have avoided, or the cost that you could have avoided for your business. Okay, and so you have to try. You have to try to negotiate. It's a skill that comes handy for you, because in the long run, if you have to grow very fast, you have to talk to investors. And talking to investors means that you have to be very good at negotiating at a certain level, so that you don't give part of your company away without getting the value that you deserve. And so use this as an exercise, as a mock trial. Talk to suppliers and hone that skill. Okay, I will advise you to do that. Maybe you can say, for every supplier or vendor that you would have to buy something from, I'll probably spend 10 minutes talking to that supplier just to see how good I can improve or how well I can improve my negotiation skill. Okay. And it will come to a point that, look, Isaac, you would love the conversation that you have with your suppliers. You actually get to know them better. Okay. And the whole idea is to create that relationship with your suppliers that they become your friend. Okay. And so always try to negotiate. I'm begging you. Always try to negotiate. It will serve your business well. It might be difficult for now, but you can watch some videos about that. There is usually this series that they do. It's called Dragon Den. You can watch that. We will share the slides, and so I'll put certain materials that will be of use to everybody. Certain books that you can read, certain links that you can go click and watch videos on how to negotiate. And they've been very helpful to a lot of people. So I think this too is going to be of help to you. Okay. So Isaac, we'll talk more. Feel free to also chat, Coach. Coach will be available to assist in that area too. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Great. So Paul just posted. We'll be posting all of these materials in the Facebook group, but Paul is going to give more insight on that. So you'll get to know where to get these materials.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Empress. Yeah, Empress, please, you can go ahead.
Hi, nice. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Isaac. Don't worry. Go on. Yeah.
Okay, so I was just appealing to Empress Noko Nice to speak. That's a lovely name, Empress Noko Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
And then go ahead with your question. Okay, and while we wait for that, I'll go to Emmanuel Ato Bensa. So he says he saw something like BATNA in the notes, and he would like a further explanation.
Okay.
It's an acronym he saw.
Yeah, let's go there. So the BATNA means that best alternative to a negotiated agreement. So we talked about you having alternatives, okay, of vendors, and then you look for the best alternative, the one that gives your business value. Okay, so it's basically about don't ignore alternative. The whole idea of having alternative is to be able to beat down the price. So the BATN is basically best alternative to a negotiated agreement. So you look out for what that BATN is. Okay, we'll be explaining all of these things into details. Just join the group that Paul is going to talk about later on at the end of this session. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Empress Noko Nice, I want to know if you're ready to speak.
We can have Empress to actually make the chat by posting the question in a chat, and then we'll see if we can read it out and call it a day.
Okay, so while we wait for the post in the chat, I would also like to know if there are further questions. If not, I'll hand over to our head of marketing, Mr. Paul Akinola, to tell us more about the Facebook group and then how we can benefit from it.
Oh, thank you so much. What a day and what a training. I'm sure every one of us here, of course, we had a very great time, a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight, a lot of tips dropped from this part 2 of negotiation. All right, so like Prince has announced, we're going to have the slides with a lot more information. It's going to be packed full and it's going to be in the group. The group is already in the comments. So please join that group, and then you're going to have access to the replay of the video. You're going to have access to the slides that Prince used, and several other good things are coming up there. You're going to learn how to use OZÉ app to make your business better, digitize your business, grow your business. There's one post I saw today, and it really got to me. Many of us, if they ask us, how is your business doing? You just say, fine, or I don't know. But with OZÉ app, you know how your business is doing. And that is something no entrepreneur will want to negotiate with. You understand? I mean, so you need this. So please join that group, and then you're going to have access to even the workshops we've had before now. We're going to be having, you have access to all the videos and all the slides of those workshops. So thank you so much, Prince. Thank you everyone for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the group, and I look forward to sharing with you more things. And then next month, we're going to be having another powerful workshop. It's going to be on the 29th of September. Something big is coming. So please stay in touch. If you got this information from email, watch your email. If you got it via SMS, watch your SMS. If you got it via WhatsApp, just get ready. If you got it on Facebook, anywhere you got the information for this workshop, get ready for next month. It's loaded. It's heavy. We are preparing for the sales season, October, November, December, the best time that, especially after going through lockdown, you need to be ready to make sales in October, November, December. Everybody's ready to buy. So you need to be ready to sell. So please get ready for next month, September 29. If we did not inform you, if you didn't get our message, send an SMS, send a WhatsApp chat, send an email reply, and say, what is happening in September? We're waiting for the workshop. And I believe that we are in for the best of time. If you have not downloaded OZÉ app, one of my colleagues is going to be putting the link to download it now in the comments section. So please download the app. It is important for you. That is the only way you can see how your business is doing. It's the only way you can know if your business is growing. Business is not just about selling. I was glad when Prince was talking about if you say you don't like to negotiate. I mean, if you're going to gain 1 million cities from negotiating, I'm sure you will forget about the fact that you're shy. You just go on and negotiate. It depends on what you want to gain, and it depends on what you're going to lose. So you don't want to be careless with your business. You don't want to be that your business not doing well because of you. So please get the app, find out the trend in your business. Then also the beauty of it is you can also get loan to grow your business when you consistently use this app and you consistently record your business. That is the only way people will trust you and believe in you. So entrepreneur, business owner, this is our chance to rule the world. This is our chance to move to the next level. Don't miss it for anything. Thank you so much. All right, the link is already there. Just go ahead, copy that link, paste it in your browser, get into Google Play Store, get into App Store, and then download the app and start up. If you have any question, the OZÉ coach is just a click away from you, and somebody will be calling you to speak with you. Thank you so much for tonight. I believe it's a great night. Isaac, you have something to tell us before we close?
I'm okay. Thank you very much, Paul. At least if I didn't learn anything from this session, I know that even in the good book, Abraham, the father of all nations, negotiated with God himself with regards to the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. So that is my takeaway for today. So that's it for me.
That's great. All right. Thank you so much for joining. We see you again in the group. And then 29th of September, we'll be here for another workshop. All right. God bless you. Have a very great night.